84. Most passes completed, 362. Most 300-yard games with 9. Most 400-yard games with 4. Those are all NFL records for young Dan Marino. But his first Super Bowl will be a loss. Was it the lack of offense and defense by Miami, or was just brilliant play on the part of the offensive unit of the 49ers, directed by this man, Bill Walsh, and a great defensive area? Super Bowl 19 is in the record book. And Bill Walsh, who became a head coach so late in life after many years as an assistant coach at Cincinnati, San Diego, Oakland, and then collegiately at Stanford, is being carried off on the shoulders of his players. Low-key, takes a great deal of personal interest in his players.
Frankly, did a terrific job.
An imagination to offense perhaps no other coach has in this game.
I think offensively and defensively, no one really expected this Don Shula team to score only 16 points, and I think Don Shula will be the first to admit that.
Highest scoring team during the season in 1984. The Miami Dolphins were just incredible. They rolled up 513 points on the season, but they met their match today against the San Francisco 49ers, who played this game almost flawlessly. We'll be back at Stanford Stadium in just a moment.
Look into the locker room of the Super Bowl champion San Francisco 49ers. It's the second time in 4 years they've won it all. Today, total domination as they led 28-16 at the half, wind up winning the game. The final score 38-16. The 38 points, a Super Bowl record, along with the 38 scored last year by the Los Angeles Raiders against Washington. There is Commissioner Pete Rozelle. Joe Montana, the MVP of Super Bowl 19. Bill Walsh in your picture right now. Montana setting a new passing yardage record, and after it looked like the Dolphins had worked their way back into the game through a big break at the end of the first half, they were shut out in the second half. And as we welcome you back to Stanford, shortly we'll be going into the locker room for interviews. I'm Al Michaels, joined by Tom Landry. And Tom, what strikes me is with all of the offensive output of the 49ers, how about a defense that allows only 1 touchdown in 3 playoff games?
What can you say about it? It was just a tremendous performance. The 49ers were just dominant in every way. We talked a great deal about the 4-man rush that we felt they were going to go to, and they did. They went in with Dean, they went in with Johnson, they went in with Carter and Board in the second quarter, and it changed completely the game. Miami was unable to move the ball against them, and that was the difference.
Sometimes you have to let a little bit of time pass before you relate this team to others in the past, but this is a team that came within 3 points of a perfect season. Are they one of the best teams in recent history in your mind?
I think they're one of the best teams that I've seen in a single-year basis. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Green Bay Packers, and all of them are competent to this team. And they really perform well. I just was very impressed with them today.
All right now let's go down to the locker room and Jim Lampley.
All right, now we are here in the victorious dressing room of the San Francisco 49ers, and without further ado, the presentation of the Vince Lombardi Trophy. Here again, Commissioner Pete Rozelle.
Well, Bill and Eddie, it's been a long road since July. You probably know it a lot better than I do. But you've come up with your 2 for 2. 2 Super Bowl wins in the last 4 years. And you set a record for becoming the first team in regular and postseason to win 18 games. And really, your entire organization is to be credited. The organization area that you put together, Bill, his coaching, outstanding coaching staff, and certainly these players over there. It was a real number you played on today. It was a great performance. Credit to your entire organization, and certainly you're going to be a factor in the future. Here's the trophy.
Pete, thank you.
Mr. Ed DeBartolo Jr., the owner of the San Francisco 49ers.
Guys, I love you. Coach Walsh, his staff, we're the best. We are the best. And we will continue to be the best. I'm just very proud of everything that we've put together through Coach Walsh and his organization. Commissioner, thank you. This trophy belongs to Bill Walsh, his assistant coaches, our organization, and these great players that play for us. My pals!
Now, gentlemen, in the midst of this celebration, we are expecting to be connected electronically with a visitor from the East. And as a matter of fact, right now, Coach Walsh and Mr. DeBartolo, I believe we're going to be hearing from President Reagan.
Coach Walsh, there ought to be a bigger word than congratulations for all that we saw tonight and what you and that team of yours have accomplished. But that's the word to use, and I just want to say congratulations to you. And, of course, congratulations to Joe Montana for his being picked and for the performance. But for all of that team, I guess as a coach, you couldn't have asked for anything greater than they gave you tonight.
Well,
so, yes?
Well, I tell you, they've given it all year, Mr. President. This is the greatest football team and the greatest group of people I've ever been around, and I hope we've added to today's festivities.
You certainly did. And, you know, if now that the season's over and you fellas haven't anything to do for a while, I have to go up on the Hill and deal with Congress in a few days. How would you like to come back? And I could use a frontline four.
Well, I think we'll stick to football, Mr. President. You're equipped for your job. We'll just try to deal with this one. Congratulations to you on your election. We're all behind you, and we're praying for you.
Thank you very much. And again, God bless you all, and it was just great.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. President, for your participation. And now, gentlemen, if you can stick with me just a second, let's discuss the particulars of this game. First of all, Ed DeBartolo, I want to congratulate you on having won this for the second time in 4 years.
Thanks, Jim. It's a real honor, and it's a gratification towards this great team that we have.
All right, hopefully we'll get a chance to chat a little bit more later on. Right now, I need to chat with Bill Walsh if I can. Coach Walsh, if you can come over here. Congratulations on your second Super Bowl victory. I wonder if you knew, after all the detail work and the preparation and the build-up for this game, that it was going to turn out to be potentially as decisive as it was.
Well, we did the best we could. We planned. We got a lot of confidence in this football team, and you never really know. I was a little haunted by the fact I was wondering if we could even score. That's what happens to you before a game. But once it started, and once this team went into motion, that just a great group of football players. I think this is one of the best teams of all time.
Were you at all annoyed or bothered, and did you suspect that maybe Joe Montana would be especially motivated by the degree of attention that's been paid, particularly here in the Bay Area, to Marino in the past couple of weeks?
Well, Marino's a great quarterback, a great young quarterback. Montana, to me, in my feeling and our team's feeling, is the greatest quarterback in football today, maybe of all time. And this was Montana's year. Marino will certainly have his years. He's a great football player. But this was the San Francisco 49er year. And we had a lot of competition throughout the season. We met a great Miami team. But without doubt, this is the greatest football team in football today.
First team in the history of the National Football League to win 18 games during the course of the long season. Did you ever worry from week to week about your team's motivation in the face of all the success they're experienced?
No, that's the strength of the ball club. We were basically motivated for every game. We played with the same intensity, play after play, throughout the season, and this was typical of it. This is the best game I believe we played. We were ready for it, and I just can't say enough about the resourcefulness of all 49 players, because all of them contributed.
Coach, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Congratulations again. You've once again squelched rumors that you might be moving upstairs and giving up the coaching duty, so we'll look forward to seeing continued success for you in the years ahead.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you
very much. We'll be back with more Super Bowl postgame right after this. Now with the most valuable player of Super Bowl 19 and the third man to win the award twice in his career. I wonder if you know that. You've joined Bart Starr and Terry Bradshaw now, and having won the award twice, and congratulations.
Thanks, I appreciate it. I tell you, though, I have to say one thing about our offensive line. Did one heck of a job all day long and allowed me to do all those things that happened today and gave me the time that was necessary.
Were you particularly motivated coming into the game by all the attention that was paid to your opposite number in the last couple of weeks, Dan Marino?
I think our whole offensive unit was. All we heard all week long was Miami's offense. How are you going to stop them? And I think deep inside of us, nothing was said, but inside of each of us, we just knew that we had an offense too, and no one was thinking about having to stop us, so I think we were out to prove something.
All right, Joe, you had a great game throwing the ball and a particularly good game, as is often the case, running with the football. Let's take a look now at some of the action which was critical during the course of the game. Here's the first touchdown to Monroe.
It's just a rollout and trying to get the halfback down to the corner with a clear on the X, and he just broke a tackle there and got in the end zone.
All right, now we're going to look at your touchdown run.
I tried to throw a slant to Dwight, and the guy jumped up underneath of it, and there was a big hole in front of me. I just ran.
Did you have a feeling before the game that you would be scrambling out of the pocket a great deal against this defense?
Well, it wasn't so much the pressure aspect of it. It was just that they were covering, dropping a lot of people back. I felt that we could get, if nothing was open, I could get up inside and run.
All right, baby. Much better game today than in the 6 preceding weeks. What do you attribute that to?
Well, I think we just executed when we got down inside the 20-yard line. The past couple games, I'd given up a couple touchdowns and thrown an interception and cost us some points. And this week, we just went in and wanting to throw the ball and get inside and get in the end zone.
Big play here by Wendell Tyler. You had all day to wait for him to break free.
Well, we were trying to throw the ball to the outside receivers, and he had told me all day long he'd been covered on this play. So we got back to it, and I looked back inside. I was looking for the tight end. All of a sudden, he was standing there by himself, and he makes a great run after the catch.
And here's the third touchdown by Roger Craig. What a game he had.
And he sure did. Rogers here is one-on-one with the linebacker, moves him to the outside, and then goes inside of him here, and then just splits the guy to get in the end zone here. This was the second touchdown. That was they had been blitzing and trying to cover our backs with their linebackers one-on-one. They did it the first time we came back with the play, the second time in a row, and there was no one around Raj.
One of the prices of fame, Joe, a great deal has been written about your personal life in the last year or two. Are you a happier and more content man at this time than in the recent preceding times?
Well, I definitely am, and Jennifer has a lot to do with that, and she's been behind me the whole way and giving me the support that I've needed, and I couldn't have done it without her.
All right, let's take a look at one more play, and this one will illustrate the kind of protection you got from an offensive line that's sending 3 players to the Pro Bowl, and from which I guess you expect this kind of help.
Oh, definitely. They've had a great year all year long, and you know, they've just been underestimated, not even this year, but the past few years, and finally they're getting what's due them.
All right, congratulations once again, Joe Montana. Second Super Bowl championship, still relatively early in your career. We'll look forward to more big things from you in the future. Jim Lampley in the 49er dressing room. The next man up is Eric Wright, who played a sensational game against Mark Clayton and Mark Duper, as did your running mate Ronnie Lott at cornerback. A lot of people wondered how you guys would do handling Clayton and Duper head up. Were you highly motivated by all that speculation?
The first half and throughout the week, the whole secondary, we knew we would be the key to beating these guys, and it was going to be determined on what type of day we had. And we had a super day back there. Our offense, we couldn't ask any more of those guys. They came through when we needed them.
Interception that prevented a touchdown, a great catch. We're going to look at that play right now, Eric, and you describe it for us. Well, if the tape rolls, we'll look at the play. I seem to have lost the monitor down here, so we'll wait to see exactly what happens. At any rate, what happened on the play was that you were able to leap in the air and take a ball away from Clayton, kind of play he's been making all year.
Oh, yeah, he's been coming up with a great catch all year, and it was a type of pattern that he would normally make that catch, but I got a good piece of him at the line of scrimmage, and that enabled me to come back for the ball, and I came back to the ball very aggressive. Normally I would knock that ball down, but I had to come up with the pick, and that turned the game around. Those guys had momentum rolling their way.
All right, Eric, congratulations to you. We've got some other players here whom we hope to get a chance to talk to.
So at Stanford Stadium, the 49ers win it decisively. Final score 38-16, and our post-game coverage of Super Bowl 19 will continue after this.
And now here is Roger Craig celebrating in the 49er dressing room. O.J. Simpson suggested before the ball game you could be a key factor here. I got to tell you, Frank Gifford has been saying since mid-season that he thought you'd be the difference in the Super Bowl. Did you have an inkling coming in that you were going to play as big a role in this game as you did?
Well, all year they've been using me as all-purpose back, and a type of defense Miami runs that they probably come to me quite a bit, like on the swing-out passes and quick draws and things like that. And everything worked out well for me today. The offensive line did a great job of blocking, and everyone just executed very well.
We're looking at some plays here in a moment, some of the action in which you excelled during this game. Right now, the viewers are seeing the touchdown pass you caught from Joe Montana early in the ball game, the one that made it 14-10. Pretty remarkable to reflect that you caught only 16 passes in 4 years at Nebraska. Could you ever have thought that you would become the receiver you have in the pros?
Well, in Nebraska, they never really, passed that much. They're a run-oriented team, but they had a lot of success with the run there, so there was no necessary need for it. But, playing for the 49ers, I had to prepare myself as far as catching the ball because they passed quite a bit to the halfbacks coming out of the backfield. So it was a lot of hard work and a lot of concentration, and I had a lot of help from some of the players on the team, like Freddie Solomon and Dwight Clark. Those guys helped me out quite a bit when I first got here.
Viewers have now seen your touchdown run that made it 28-10. Now they're looking at the last touchdown pass that you caught from Joe Montana, made it 38-16. Did the team have a sense that Montana was going to come up big today?
Well, Joe always come up with the clutch play every game, and he's that type of a quarterback and a type of player. He's a leader on our team, and we have a lot of confidence in him, and he just performed well, every time he's on the field. And on that play, he just read the defense very well and saw that I was open and dumped it off to me. All I had to do was just take it up the middle.
All right, thanks again, Roger, and congratulations on a big game today. If the gentleman in the truck will indulge me, one quick word with Carlton Williamson, who played with Danny Marino at Pittsburgh and came up with an interception today. Your pressure in the second half seemed to really bother Danny Marino. Had you thought that that might happen?
Well, we felt that that would be the key to the ball game, to us winning the ball game. And I talked to Danny after the game. He was telling me that he feels fine physically, and he mentioned the fact that the pressure on him was tremendous, and we felt that was going to be the key.
All right, well, we're going to take a look now, Carlton, at your interception on the back line of the end zone. This was a ball that Dan really put up for grabs.
Yes, that was one of the things that he'd been doing all season, and a lot of defenders would get hurt because they wouldn't look around for the ball, have excellent coverage. So when I'm in the end zone, I try to look around and find the ball, especially when you feel it's coming. And that was the case. I just turned around to try to find where the ball was, and it was already in air, so I guess he was trying to get rid of it, and I was on the receiving end.
At this time, knowing him as you do, any note of sympathy for Dan?
Yes, there is. The guy's an excellent quarterback, and it was just tough for him the way they had to lose today. But this is competitive sports, competitive game, and he'll be back.
All right, Carlton, congratulations to you and all the defenders here, and we'll be returning with more post-game coverage from Super Bowl 19 immediately after these messages.
Closing word from Tom Landry. I'm just struck by the fact that the operative word in the NFL over the past couple of years has been parity. What kind of parity is there when a team goes 18-1 and wins the Super Bowl by 22? They're pretty good.
I don't think we had any parity this year. I think the 49ers were the best team, and they proved it. You know, a lot was been written about this game before it happens, but somebody has to step out on the field. Somebody has to win it, and the 49ers did. So whatever's written about them, they deserve it.
San Francisco's Super Bowl champions winning Super Bowl 19 at Stanford Stadium. Once again, the final score of the Super Bowl today, San Francisco 38 and Miami 16. Don't forget, coming up, of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.